one batch, two batch, penny and a dime. If you don't know what we're talking about yet, this doesn't give you an idea, then I'm sorry to tell you. Where are you? Of course, we're going to talk about the new season of My Little Pony. Duh. Just kidding. Clearly, we're going to talk about The Punisher, One Last Kill special that dropped tonight. If you haven't seen it, move along because there are spoilers ahead. Yeah, and we're off. So again, we've got a 48-minute special called, again, Punisher One Last Kill. Overall, it was too short of an experience. I feel like this needed to be just a little bit longer. And I feel like, hard stopping these one shots at 45, 48 minutes, between 45 and 50 minutes is dumb. An hour, hour and a half. It's a one shot. Like, this just needed a little bit more time. But overall, an enjoyable experience with a couple of things that kind of bugged me. The quick synopsis is we find Frank with this usual mind dilemma, which I'm tired of. Honestly, we've gone through plenty of seasons of that shit, but apparently it's over. All right. By the time the episode ends, that dilemma is gone. He's dealing with PTSD after wiping out the Nucci family, and that's the last supposed closure to the murder of his family. Wrong. Because Ma Nucci survived and she confronts him. And Judith Light, I haven't seen her since. I know she's done a lot of other stuff, but the only way I remember is from Who's the Boss? And this ain't fucking I forgot what the hell her name was. That's not her, dude. She, in the 6 or so minutes that she was on screen, she killed it. I mean, great intimidation, fucking gnarly, awesome. She puts a bounty on Frank's head because he's on the verge of just killing himself and just being done until he's reminded, like, there's a little girl he interacts with at a bodega that kind of sparks a remembrance of his daughter. But after Ma Nucci, she puts a hit on his head. We basically got a whole raid scenario as a whole bunch of fucking hoodlums come in and try to deal with Frank and collect that cash. Dead ass wrong. Frank cleans house. It looks like a goddamn walkthrough through a video game. And I'm glad that we only got one raw because I'm tired of the raws too. Like, we get your angry, your rage, that holler. Sorry, man, but over it because other instances is just roar after roar. But great action sequences. I mean, honestly, on par with the raid, if I'm being honest. He's picking up weapons again like a game, fucking annihilating people in the hardest R rating violence imaginable. All of this to say, he accomplishes his mission. He gets down actually to a confrontation with Ma Nucci and decides to go save that little girl and her family versus going after Ma Nucci, which is impactful in two ways. One, it humanizes him. He sees the bigger picture of his mission. His mission, it doesn't end with the people that killed his family. There are other things other people he needs to save and help. And that kind of brings us back to the fact that now, hopefully, we don't have to deal with the should I, shouldn't I kind of shit. And he's just plowing forward. The second thing is he let Ma Nucci go, and that's where it ends. She drives off. There's no closure with that. So I'm willing to bet this is a backdoor pilot to another season of The Punisher. And if that happens, just let The Punisher ride. Just drop him in there. Of course, good story, but don't have to deal with any more of his mental shit, like, to a certain degree anyway. The downside from this is great action, great drama, great acting on Jon Bernthal, who co-wrote this special as well. But the same thing that's happened with The Punisher since he took over. We only get a few minutes of the skull every time he has a season or show or whatever, because he only has the skull, the new redesigned one, at the very end of the episode. And essentially, he's all figured out, figured like an action figure, but he's geared out in all his attire he's going to have going forward. He's basically has his full-on uniform because the tactical gear's there. You can tell this is it. It really feels like this is a backdoor pilot, and I hope it is because it's such an open-ended scenario that if they leave it like this, that's going to fucking suck. Also, the fact is, we have to assume and deduce that this happens between where we last saw him at the end of season 1 of Daredevil and where we'll see him next in Spider-Man Brand New Day. They don't specifically say it, but given his wardrobe at the end, clearly goes into Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I guess you can just assume the beard and whatnot from the end of season 1, but it's never explicitly said. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like that's needed. But if this doesn't go anywhere, like, shame on you, Marvel. Now, if you bring him back, again, Skull all the way. Fuck everything else. He's the Punisher. This was essentially a Frank Castle One Last Kill special. It wasn't Punisher. Sorry. You got to have the Skull, man. And give us more time overall. Like, 48 minutes was done. But awesome action. Awesome story. Everything was cool. Visuals are awesome. The only thing that I found actually also funny was there's one part where there's CGI where he falls off a roof onto an AC unit, and it's a weird ass CGI moment. If you caught it, cheers to you. I mean, it was pretty noticeable in my opinion. I know other people were talking about audio issues at the beginning of the show too. Luckily, I didn't encounter that. I give it a solid 4.5 out of 5. I'm just slightly taking deductions for the lack of Skull, overplaying the PTSD shit, whether he should or shouldn't, and hoping that now that he has a clear path, that's what we stick with whatever Marvel decides to do with him after Spider-Man Brand New Day. And bring that dude to the light. She nailed it. Like, that being the next mission, cool. And then little side missions, cool. I dig it. All in all, great watch. If you saw it, let me know down below, of course. Until the next alert, my nerds, appreciate you.